everyone. I'm here with Melinda from Team NEO. And Melinda, I understand you're doing a lot with the Northeast Ohio cluster, and I'm just interested to learn a little bit more about that and some of the things that you're seeing.
Yes, so I'm Melinda. I work for Team NEO. We're a regional economic development firm focused on creating jobs in Northeast Ohio. And a few years ago, we realized that there was a lot happening in 3D printing and wanted to understand the impact of 3D printing and what it meant for Ohio. So we did a study in partnership with the Youngstown Business Incubator, and we realized that not only are there thousands of manufacturers in Ohio, but there's important organizations like America Makes, like ASM International, like I said, Youngstown Business Incubator, and Youngstown State University, who's one of 2 universities in the nation to offer all 7 3D printing processes. So there was a lot of energy already happening around 3D printing, and the idea was, let's group together, form an innovation cluster, and see what we can do to accelerate the adoption of 3D printing. And I think that with the manufacturers in this region, we just realized that they're just not sure, how does 3D printing affect their business? Where do they apply it? What do they do with it? And there's obviously tooling applications, but you can design in 3D printing. I always, Dave Pearson from McNutt always says, holes no longer have to be round, and so I think 3D printing presents a lot of opportunities, and it's just helping manufacturers understand what those opportunities are. It's, traditional manufacturing is not going away, but 3D printing is going to complement it, and it's just helping manufacturers understand what that looks like. So the Ohio Additive Manufacturing Innovation Cluster, it's in place to help those companies and just kind of work together. We have about 75 companies in our membership, and it's companies like, America Makes and YBI, but it's solution providers like RP+M and the Technology House and Hometown Products, but it's also traditional manufacturers like Timken and Lubrizol and Parker Hannafin. And the idea is if we all work together, then we can accelerate the adoption of 3D printing in Ohio.
Sure. So you're focused on an area that is very rich in manufacturing, and I would imagine that there's a lot of different entities or manufacturers that are coming to you to learn more about this technology. How do they engage with you?
Yeah, I like to think of myself kind of as a broker, because I will get an email from a company and, I don't need to know the answers, I just need to know who to put them in touch with. So for example, a company might come to me and say, hey, we're thinking about buying a 3D printer, but we don't know if that's the right decision for us. Yeah. And then I will source an expert that can help them walk through that decision. Or, I will have a company that'll come to me and say, hey, we're trying to design this part, we're trying to figure out 3D printing is the right way to go. And then, I know to put them in touch with, Youngstown Business Incubator or McNutt. Or somebody, I had a company that just needed to be able to print ceramics and just needed to source a printer, through a service bureau.
Sure.
So it's really just about, finding the manufacturing companies, letting them know that this cluster exists, and then helping source their, the answers to their questions.
Yeah, and that's such a tremendous resource to the folks that are early on the adoption curve.
Yeah.
So is it just companies and organizations that can engage with you, or can an individual person or a graduate student also participate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that the more that come into the cluster, the more it's more cohesive and more opportunities. At the Advanced Materials Conference we had last summer, we had students presenting their posters, and then I know that all of the universities in Northeast Ohio engage in our cluster in one way or another. I mean, there's University of Akron, there's Tri-C, there's Lorain County Community College, all offering some sort of curriculum related to 3D printing. And so, I mean, the students are very much important to what we're doing, as is the manufacturers and just the local experts.
That's great. And what do you guys want to take away from Rapid this year?
Well, as an economic development organization, on one hand, we want to make the companies aware of the manufacturers in Ohio. I mean, if you're a Desktop Metal, if you're a Carbon, I think they realize that their customer is in Ohio, and so we want these companies to come and engage in our cluster and take advantage of the manufacturing base that we have. So I think that's number one. And then number two is that, the cluster itself, we really want companies to engage and, share their knowledge, help teach our companies, our manufacturing companies. Because at the end of the day, as economic developers, we want to help our companies stay and grow. And, part of that is understanding emerging technologies and understanding how they apply to their business. Where can they be more efficient? Where can they save money? And if we can bring those subject matter experts, whether they're in California or they're in Chicago or wherever they are, if we can bring them to Ohio and share their knowledge, then it helps our companies stay and grow in Ohio. So.
All right, well, I hope you have a great time at Rapid this year,
Thank you.
and I can't wait to hear how the cluster expands and the success that you guys are going to have in the near future.
Sure. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you.